Live, right? Hey, madam. Alright, SHALAM. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Brakata to all the brothers. Yahweh Hashem Ayalatan Hashem Yahushai to all the sisters. Priest and Officer Matt Koyak of the Israelite School out here in Trinidad. And with me is Priest and Officer Mike. We are about to begin the Sabbath service by I.S.U.P.K Trinidad and Tobago. Right? La Yashala to Israel. Sir, to say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemaya, Kodash, Haya, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwatka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Haya, Washamaya, Natanlanawa, Lakam, Ka, Yawam, Wasalak now, Kabawat now, Kasalak now, Kabawat now, Wala'a, Tabaya now, Abod, our shine, Mayan, Right, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwat, Wahala, Watapara, I Aman. What you just said in English, Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. We're going to say the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh. Why Yahushai. Why Makala. Why Alahaya. Matazabia. Alawapyan. Ha Asaranya. Ha Kwatazayanyam. Wa Akwatya. Yahweh. Bahasham. So Wada Aman. What you just said in the English. Blessed to Yahweh, and Yahushai, and Michael, and the angel, commanding General Yohanna, the general, the captain, the officer, the troopers, and the sister, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it. Going to the Hakak, or the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Wawakasha, Natanlanawa, Hakak, Arabah, Kalmakala, Kalmanawo, Hakak, Lataha, Atamazaria, Hakak, Lahakwaya, Hamataya, Hakak, Irakawat, Atamayala, Lagarashan, Bahasham, Yahushai, Tawara Aman. What we just said in the English, Yahweh, the name of Yahushai. Please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the leper. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it. We're going to say Psalm 121 in Hebrew. Ashar, Ayanya, Al-Harayam, Mahayan, Yaba'a, Isaiah, Mayam,
Yahweh,
Aisha, Shamayam, Warataza, Alyatan, Lamawat, Ragalka, Al-Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashan, Shamawo, Yashala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Aliyad, Yamyanka, Yamyamwam, Hashamash, La'a, Yakaka, Warak, Bayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makalrai, Yashama, At Nashpaka, Yahweh, Yashamata Zalka, Yashamata Zaatka, Wabawaka, Mayata, Waid, Iwalam. What we just said in English, Psalms 121, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hill. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from the Most High, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Most High is thy keeper. The Most High is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Most High shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Most High shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. We're going to say Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayam,
Al-Damayalaka, Al-Damayalaka,
Al-Takarash,
Al-Takarash,
Al-Tashakwat,
Al-Tashakwat,
Al-Kayahana,
Al-Kayanaha,
Awabayaka, Yahama Yawan,
Ra'ash,
Al-Aimaka,
Al-Amaka,
Yahaira
Ya'amwa, Sawada, Wayata, Wa'aitazawo, Aitazapawanka, Amarwa, Lakawa, Hanakakadiam, Magawia, Wala'a, Yazaka, Sham Yashala, Aiwada, Kaya, na Aitazawa, Laba, Yakadwa, Alyaka, Bariat, Yakaratwa, Ahalia, Adawam, Washamai, Alayam, Mawa'aba, Wahagariam, Gabal, Wa'aimawan, Wa'aimalak, Palashat, Ain Yashabia, Tazawo, Gamashawo, Nalawo, Aimam, Hayawa, Zarawai, Labanya Lawat, Salah, Aisha Laham, Kamadian, Kasaya Saraa, Kayaban, Banakal, Kwayashwan, Nasham Madawo, Ba'ayan the Ira, Ya Wakazaba, Wakataza Almanai, Kal Nasayam Kawa, Asha, Amarwa, Nayarash, Lanawo, Naatwa, Alahaya, Shayatamwa, Kagalgala, Kakwash, Lapanya Rawaka, Kaash, Taba Ira, Wakal Laba'a, Talahat, Arayam, Kan Karadakma, Basa Iraka, Wabasa Wapatka, Tabahalam, Mala'a, Panyam, Palawan, Wayab Bakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Wayab Ashwa, Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Bahalwa,
Bahalwa,
Ayayi,
Ayayi,
Waya Kaparwa,
Waya Kapawa,
Waya Abarwa,
Waya Abadwa,
Waya Da'aiwa,
Wa Aya Da'aiwa,
Kaya Kayata,
Kayata,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahawa,
Yahawa,
Labatkwa,
Labatkwa,
I Yawan,
Ayawan,
I Kaha Arataza.
Al Kaha Yarataza. What you just said in Psalm 83 in the English. Keep not thou silent.
Keep not thou silent,
O Most High.
O Most High.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace,
And be not still.
and be not still,
O Most High.
O Most High.
For lo,
Thine enemies
make it to mourn.
make it to mourn,
And they that hate thee
and they that hate thee
have lifted up their head.
have lifted up
They
their
have taken crafty
They
counsel
have taken crafty counsel
against thy people
against thy people,
and consulted
and consulted
against thy hidden ones.
against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come,
let us cut them
and
off
let us cut them
from
off
being a nation,
from being a nation,
and the name of
and
Israel
the name of Israel
may be no more remembered.
may be no more
For
remembered.
they have consulted together
For they have consulted
with
together
one consent.
with one consent.
They are confederate
They are confederate
against thee,
against thee,
the tabernacles of
the
Edom,
tabernacles of
and
Edom,
the Ishmaelites,
and the Israelites,
of Moab,
of Moab,
and the Hagarees,
and the Hagarees,
Gebal,
Gabal,
and Ammon,
and Ammon,
and Amalek,
and Amalek,
Philistine, with
Philistines,
the inhabitants of
with the
Tyre.
inhabitants of Tyre.
Ashur is also
is also
joined with them.
joined with them.
They have opened
They have pulled
the children
the children
of Lot, Salah,
Selah,
do unto them
who unto them,
as unto the
as
Midianites,
unto the Midianites,
as to Sisera,
as to Sisera,
as to Jabin,
as to Jabin,
and the brook of
and the
Kison,
brook of Kesor,
which perished at
which
Endor.
perished at Endor.
They became as dung
They became as dung
for the earth.
for the earth.
Make them noble,
Make their noble
like Oreb,
like Oreb,
and like Zeid.
and like Zeid.
Yea,
Yea,
all their princes,
all their princes,
as Zebah,
as the bar,
and as Alumna,
and as the Lumna,
who said,
who said,
Let us take to
Let
ourselves
us take to
the
ourselves
houses of the Most
the
High
houses of the Most
in
High
possession.
in possession.
O my power,
O my power,
make them like a wheel,
make them like a wheel,
as the stubble before the wind,
as the stubble before the
as
wind,
the fire burneth the wood,
as the fire burneth the wood,
and as the flame
and as the flame
setting the mountains on
setting
fire.
the mountains on fire.
So persecute them
So persecute them
with thy tempest,
with thy tempest,
and make them
and
afraid
make them afraid
with thy storm.
with thy storm.
Fill their
Fill
faces
their faces
with shame,
with shame,
that they may seek
that they may seek
thy name,
thy name,
O Most High.
O Most High.
Let them be confounded
Let them be confounded
and troubled
and troubled
forever.
forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame
let them be put to shame
and perish,
and perish,
that men may know
that men may know
that thou,
that thou,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
and the Most High
and the Most High
over all the earth.
over all you.
Sir? All right, so we're going to begin the Sabbath service. We're going to begin in Exodus chapter 21 and verse 17. Wamakwa la abayawa wa a mawa mawata yawa mata. Verse 18. Wakaya yara yaban anashayon wahaka ayasha lata ra'ai hawa ba'abana awa ba'a gara
Wala'a Yama Wata Wana Wanapal Lama Shaka. Verse 19. Ama Yakwa Wama Waha Kaha Laka Baka Wataza Aila Masha Ainatawa Wanakwa Hamaka Rakwa Shaba Tawa Yatan Warapa Yarapa. Verse 20. Yakaya Ayasha Aiba Dawa Awa Ata Amatawa Basha Bata Wamata Taka Yadawa Nakwam Yanakwam. Verse 21. Aka Ama Yawam Awa Yawa Mawam. Ya Aimad La'a Yakwam Kaya Kasa Pawa Hawa. Verse 22. Wakaya Yana Tazawa Wanashayam Wana Gapawa Asha Hara Waya Taza Awa Wala Daya Wala'a Yahawa Asawan Nawasha Ya Nasha Ka'asha Yasha Yata. Ayla Yawa. Ba'ayla. Ha'a. Ha'asha. Wana. Wanatan. Bapala Layan. Verse 23. Wa'ama. Asawan. Yahweh. Wana. Taha. Napasha. Napash. Taka. Napash. I think in verse 23.
Yeah.
Come.
Book of Exodus, chapter 20, 21 and verse 18 and verse 17. Yeah. And he that curseth his father or mother shall surely be put to death. And if a man strive together, and one smite another with a stone or with his fist, and he die, and he die not, but keepeth his bed, if he rise again and walk abroad upon his staff, then shall he that smote him be quit. Only he shall pay for the loss of his time, and shall cause him to be thoroughly healed. And if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall be surely punished. Notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall be punished, for he is his money. Verse 22. If men strive and hurt a woman and child with child, so that the fruit depart from her, and yet no mischief follow, he shall be surely punished according to the woman's husband will lay upon him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. And if any mischief follow, then thou shalt give life for life. Right? And here we're seeing, again, we continue in the book of Exodus, right? And we're seeing the laws concerning violence, right? Against our brother or against our sister, against our people, against the people of the nation of Israel. Because of course, as we always say, and as we know, this book only belongs to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, right? And of course, it's saying, and if men strive together, and one smite one another with a stone, so you and a brother get in a fight, and you hit your stone, or your fist it out, you understand, with his fist, and he die not, but keep it his bed, and he dead, but he get injured, he get wounded, you understand? And if you rise again and walk on his staff, so he's still injured, but he can still move about, right? Then he that smote him be quit only, he shall pay for the loss of time, meaning that brother should pay the injured brother for the time lost. You understand? The time he was down, the time he was in bed. You understand? Because of course that brother could have been the sole breadwinner for his family, or you understand, bringing in the finances for his household. So the one who hit him, the judgment was that he should pay for the time lost, pay for the time that the brother was bedridden or in bed, right? And shall cause him to be thoroughly healed. And of course, he's going to make sure that brother is healed thoroughly, that he could function again, that he could go out and handle his business, right? And if you have a servant also, right, a man servant or a maid servant, and strike them with a rod, that he die under thy hand, of course, the person that strike your maid or your servant with that rod, you was to be punished. You understand? Of course, notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall be punished, for he is his money. You understand? Because that servant is the one that working for you. You understand?
if men strive and hurt a woman with child, of course, a woman bearing child, being a woman pregnant, you understand, men strive and that woman get hurt bearing child, that the fruit depart from her, that she lost the child. You understand what some people might say is a miscarriage in the event, right? Yet no mischief follows, he shall be punished according to the woman's husband will lay upon him. So whatever the woman's husband sees as punishment for him, that is what's going to happen. You understand? You have anything to say on that?
Just the advice to what you're saying, and this just showing how normally when people would say, well, we just get 10 commandments.
Yeah.
And this just showing you it was more than 10 commandments. You understand? We get more commandments, statutes, laws, and judgments. You understand? And these are just some of the judgments how Israel would have dealt with the different cases as it happened. You understand? So it just was not 10 commandments as the Christian church like to push.
Right.
You understand? It had other judgments and righteous laws, how we should deal with everyday things in everyday life. When it happened, it had righteous ways to deal with this thing, and it was recorded in the black man's constitution, which is the Bible.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm still like, yes, sir. Come in. Right. With that, we say, madam. No. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have to. Right. What was it?
I'm going to do it first.
Right. Yes, we can. Right. Next please.
Your card. Ban yam yam ban ya shal.
Your card.
Ban yam yam ban ya SHALAM.
Yahweh Hashem
Yahweh Hashem
Yahweh
SHALAM.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 21 and verse 24. Ayana taka Ayana Shana taka Shana Yada Takatha Yada Ragala Takatha Ragala. Verse 25. Kawaya Takatha Kawaya Patazai Takatha Patazai Kaba Bara Takatha Kaba Bara. Verse 26. Wakaya Yaka Ayasha, Atha, Ayan, Ayana, Aiba, Dawa, Awa, Atha, Ayana, Amma, Tawa, Washa, Kata, Laka, Pashaya, Washa, Laka, Nawa. Taka, Aina, Salakia, Aya, Nawa, verse 27. Wa'ama, Shana, Aiba, Dawa, Awa, Shana, Amma, Tawa, Yapa, Yala, Laka, Pa Shaya, Lakapasha, Yasha, Laka, Nawa, Taka, Tasha, Nawa. Verse 28. Wakaya, Yagaka, Shawa, Ata, Ayasha, Awa, Ata, Awa, Wamata, Sakwa, Wala, Yasakwala, Hasha, Hashawa, Wala'a, Ya Akal, Ata, Basha, Rawa, Wamba, Aila, Hashawa, Nakwaya. Verse 29. Wa'ama, Washa, Nagaka, Hawa, Mata, Mala, Shala, Shama, Hawa, Aid, Ba'ai, La, Yawa, Wala'a, Yasha, Mara, Nawa, Waya, Mayata, Ayasha, Awa, Hasha, Wara, Yasa, Kwala, Wagam, Ba'ai, La Yawa, Mata. Verse 30. Ama, Kapa, Yawa, Shata, Aila, Yawa, Wanathan, Pada, Yana, Napa, Shawa, Kakal, Asha, Yawa, Shatha, Aila, Yawa. The book of Exodus, chapter 21 and verse 23. And if mischief follow, then thou shalt give life for life. Verse 24. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. Verse 25. Burning for burning, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. Verse 26. And if a man smite the eye of his servant, or the eye of his maid, that it perish, he shall let him go free for his eye's sake. Verse 27. And if he smiteth out his manservant's tooth, or his maid servant's tooth, he shall let him go free for his tooth's sake. Verse 28. If an ox bore a man or a woman that they die, then the ox shall be surely stoned, and his flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall be quit. Verse 29. But if a ox were wont to push on his horn in if the ox were wont to push on his horn in the time past, it had been testified by his owner, and and he had not kept him in, but that he had killed a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and his owner also shall be put to death. Verse 30. If there be laid on him a sum of money, then he shall give for ransom of his life whatsoever is laid upon him.
So we've seen once more, where the Most High, giving the instructions, and as the officers brought out earlier on, it wasn't just the 10 Commandments alone. As you see here, this is laws given for what? Righteous judgment and righteous rulership. So it basically, let you know almost every what we consider a small issue, but there wasn't really small issue, but there were issues nevertheless, that, there's right judgment in mind. And anything else would have been sorted out in the same manner. Right? There will usually be witnesses based on what the issue is, and based on that there will be a judgment to suit. And it was so righteous to let you know that even if you smite another man or a woman, you say an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. You understand? And that just really shows you a lot of people like to use this now and say, like Old Testament so-called. But this was really giving the person who was injured proper justice, proper judgment. Not based on the laws we have today, but according to how the scriptures lay down. This was one of the sure ways to have an appeasement of blood and to kind of remove strife from continuing. Because usually we have, like even today we have wars, gang wars, and you holding a grudge 10, 15 years, for what happened to our brother a couple of years ago. And with that now, if you don't get proper judgment and proper closure, that will always be there hindering what? Brotherhood. All these judgments is what? To keep and maintain brotherhood. So if you add anything to it?
Yeah. I'll add something to the way it is you're saying there as well, you understand? Because of course, we're going back and seeing the laws that the Most High gave us to concerning violence against our brothers, and also we've seen here now where we have laws even concerning animals that brothers might own, because of course Israel was known for animals as well, for having animals, sheep, oxen, cattle, you understand? And it even showing you where the maid servants and man servants, you understand? How you should treat people working under you, how you should treat your servants, you understand? Not like how the white man will treat us. You understand what I'm saying? Even if you raise your hand at your servants and smite to the two, the other lead them to go free. You understand? That will show you how you should treat your people. You understand? How you should treat somebody who you might think might be less underneath you. Not like how these other nations will treat the nation of Israel. You understand? You have your animals as well also. And people warn you about the way how your animal is. Your animal now come and destroy some of my crops, they warn you about it. And you didn't take heed to that. You bring back your animal, you pen them up, but then it go out now and do the same thing or kill somebody. Then you and that animal have to be put to death. You understand? That is it on that?
Yeah.
The book of Exodus chapter 21 and verse 31, Babo. Yeah, come on, yeah. Slack it.
Yeah, this way. The book of Exodus chapter 21 and verse 31. Awa, ban, yagaka, awa, ba, yagaka, kamashpat, like kashapat, kazaha, ya Aisha, lawa, verse 32. Amma, ibada, ya gaka, hashawa, awa, amma, shalashyam, shakwalayam, yatan, la adana yawa, wa hashar wa, yasa kwal, verse 33. Wakaya, yapathka, ayash, bawa, awa, kaya, yakara, ayash, ba, wala'a, yakasanawa, wanapal, shamash, shama, shawar, awa, kamawar, verse 34. Ba'ayla, habawa, yashalam, kasab, yashala, yab, laba'ay, layawa, wahamath, yahaya, lawa, verse 35. Wakaya, yagap, shawar, ayash, ata, shawar, ra'ay, hawa, wamath, wamakarawa, ata, hashawar, akaya, wayakatzawa, ata, kasapawa, wagam, ata, amath, yakatazawa, yakatazawa, verse 36. Awa, nawada ay, kaya, shawar, nagaka, hawa'a, mawal, shalasham, wala'a, yashamar nawa, ba'ay layawa, shalam, yashalam, Shawar, Asakaf, Hashawar, Muhammad, Yahya, Lawa. Verse 36. Kiyah, Salakia, verse 37. Kiyah, Yaganab, Ayash, Shawar, Awa, Shahar, Watabakawa, Awa, Makarwa, Kamash, Bakwa, Yashalam, Takath, Thakatha, Ashawar, Wa'arabai, Taza'ana, Thakatha, Hasha. Yeah, that's in 31.
In the English, the book of Exodus, chapter 21, chapter 21 and verse 31. Whether he gave God a son, or have God a daughter, according to his judgment shall it be done unto him. If the ox shall punish a manservant or a maidservant, he shall give unto their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. Verse 33. And if the man shall open a pit, or if a man shall dig a pit and not cover it, and an ox or an ass fall therein. Verse 34. The owner of the pit shall make it good, and give money unto the owner of them, and the dead beast shall be his. Verse 35. And if one man's ox hurt another's, that he die, then they shall sell the live ox, and divide the money of it, and the dead also, and the dead ox also shall divide. Verse 36. Or if it be known that the ox hath used to push in times past, and his owner hath not kept him in, he shall surely pay ox for ox, and the dead shall be his own. Verse 22. The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 1, Babakusha. If a man steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep.
And of course, there's the laws concerning brothers having animals. The laws concerning animals. You understand? You wouldn't, if you know your animal or your ox or whatsoever animal you have, goat, sheep. You understand? Trample upon one another, or trample and kill the next man on. And of course, it's saying that if a man ox hurt another and he died, should sell the live ox. You understand? So the ox that living, they sell that one. You understand? And divide the money. And the dead ox shall also they also divide the money, divide the dead ox. You understand? If you know you open a pit, you dig a hole, and you know it's an animal traversing around there. Of course, you're supposed to cover the hole and not make leave that trap, as I will say, for that ox to go in, because of course that is a man's money. You understand? And even to when you're watching and you're reading the law concerning these animals in Israel, that you even see the brotherhood, that is to even keep peace between you and your brothers. You understand? You know, if I steal your ox, I have to be paid 5 to you. You understand? Sorry, let me go back. Right? They say if a man steal an ox or a sheep and kill it and sell it, so I see what you have, I take it, sell it. You understand? And I repay you 5 ox for an ox. So I have to pay back 5. You know that doesn't make any sense. You understand what I'm saying here? And if I go and I take one of your sheep, I have to give back 4. You understand? That will also keep the brotherhood in the nation of Israel among brothers who mine animals or brothers who don't even mine animals as well. You understand? That will keep away that evil. You understand? I don't know if you have anything to add to that effect.
Yeah, so like I just want to touch on small answer a little bit. You know, and it's like these laws is preventative laws. So the aspect if somebody know if I teach this man ox and I get catch, I paying, you know, 4 times, you know, that would again maintain the brotherhood and would decrease, you know, the likelihood of this brother committing this act, committing the sin against his brother. You know, so all these were safeguards again to protect the nation of Israel among each other. And this is why even earlier in the scripture you talk about, you know, I think it's Deuteronomy 7:6, we talk about, you know, this great nation that has such wise, you know, laws, judgments, statutes, you know, that the other nation will look at us and know that these people are different from everybody else on the face of the earth. So that's just it. Yeah. So what? Continue.
The book of Exodus chapter 22 and verse 2. Amar, Isaiah, Kaya, Hashamash, Ayla, Yawa, Damayam, Lawa, Walam, Yashalaam, Ama, Ayan, Salakia, Lawa, Wana, Maka, Baga, Naba, Tawa. Verse 3. Ama, Hamad, Taza, Tama, Taza, Baya, Dawa, Haga, Naga, Masha, Wara, Aid, Ka, Ma, Wara, Aid, Shaha, Kayayam, Wanayam, Washalam. Verse 4. Kaya, Yaga, Ira, Ayasha, Wadaha, Awa, Karama, Washa Laka, Atha, Ba'ai Yara, Waga Aira, Basha Daha, Aka, Maya Taba, Wada Hawa, Wama Yataba, Kara Mawa, Yashalam. Verse 5. Kaya Taza Asha Wama Taza Aha Wama Taza Wataza Yam Wana Akal Gada Yasha Awa Hakwa Maha Hakwama Awa Hashada Shalam Washalam Yashalam Hama Ira Atha Haba Ira. Verse 6. Kaya Yatan Ayasha Allah Ra'ai Hawa Kasap Awa Kalayam Lashama Waga Naba Maga Yata Ayasha Ama Yasha Taza Haga Naba Yashalam Shanayam. Verse 7. Amma La'a Yamataza Haga Naba Wana Kwaraba Ba'aila Haba Yata Allah Ha'a Layam Amma Allah Shalaka Yadawa Bama La'a Kata Ra'ai Hawa. Verse 8. I'll Kal the bar Pashai Aila Chawara Aila, Kama, Kamarwa, Aila, Shaha, Aila, Shala, Hama, Aila, Kal, Abba, Abadaha, Asha, Ya'a, Yama'ar, Kaya, Hawa'a, Zaha, Aid, Aida, Ha'a, Laha, Yam, Ha, Allahayam, Yabba, the Bara, Shana, Yaham, Asha, Yara, Shaya, Aina, Allah, Hayam, Yashalam, Shanayam, Lara, Hawa. Verse, almost 8.
Yeah.
The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 2. If a thief be found breaking up and be smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him. Verse 3. If the sun be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him, for he should make full restitution. If he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. Verse 4. If the theft be certainly found in his hand alive, whether it be ox or ass or sheep, he shall restore double. Verse 5. If a man shall cause a field or vineyard to be eaten, and shall put in his beast, and shall feed in another man's field, or the beast of his own field, and of the beast of his own vineyard shall he make restitution. Verse 6. If fire break out and catch thorns, so that or the standing corn or the field be consumed therewith, he that kindled the fire shall surely make restitution. Verse 7. If a man shall deliver unto his neighbor money or stuff to keep, and it be stolen out of the man's house, if the thief be found, let him pay double. Verse 8. If the thief be not found, the master of the house shall be brought unto the judges to see whether he gave his hand into his neighbor's goods.
You understand? And of course, this also lets us know how we're supposed to be responsible for the things that we do. We understand responsible. This showing a responsibility for even property of other people. You understand? Because of course, if it's a thief and it be found, you understand, with the things that you stole in your hand, you be caught. Of course, the Lord let you know you have to do what? You have to pay double. You understand? And make full restitution. It's a lot here. You understand? Verse 4 saying, if the theft be certainly found in his hand, whether it be ox, ass, or sheep, he shall restore double. You understand? And you seeing whereby this is also to help keep evil out of the nation. Because you might be going and thief one bottle of wine from a man's house, but guess what happens? You might have to pay double. It make no sense to go and thief it in the first place. You understand? That letting you know that you have to be responsible even for your own actions and also showing your brotherhood within your brothers in your nation. You understand? Of course, if it causes a field to be eaten by your beast, You understand? And you put it away. Then what? You have to take the best of your field and restore it back to the brother. You understand? Because you're supposed to be responsible for your animals. You understand? Not watching it mow down a man's place and then you still want to reap the benefits out of yours. You understand? And of course, even if you trust somebody with money, you give them something to hold of value. You understand? And then the person who you give it to saying, hey, like somebody come and thief it, then you have to take this person out and carry them to the judge. You understand? So that they could sort out that matter to see if it was really stolen or if that person took it for them own selves. You understand? Because of course in our Lord saying that you should not covet, your brother's stuff. You understand? I don't know if you have anything to add on that, right?
Oh, la.
Yeah.
The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 9. Kaya Yatan Ayash Allah Ra'ai Hawa Kama Wara Awa Shawa Awa Shaha Wakala Baha Maha Lashama Wamat Awa Nashaba Awa Nasha Baha Ayan Ra'a verse 10 Shabba Aita Yahweh Taha Yaha Bayan Shana Yaha Yaham Amma La'a Shalaka Yadawa Bama La'a Kata Ra'ai Hawa Walakwaka Ba'ai Layawa Wala'a Yashalam verse 11 Wa Amma Ganaba Yaga Naba Ma'ai Mawa Yasha Laam Laba Ai Layawa verse 12 Amma Tarak Yatha Rapa Yaga Ahawa Aid Hatta Rapa La'a Yashalam verse 13 Wakaya Yasha Allah Ayasha Ma'ai Ma'ayim Ma'aima Ra'ai Hawa Wana Shaba Awa Matha Ba'ai La Yawa Ayan Aimawa Shalam Yasha Yashalam. Verse 14. Amma Ba'ai La Yawa Aimawa La'a Yasha Yashalam Amma Shaka Yara Hawa Ba'a Sha Karawa. Verse 15. Wakaya Yapata Ayasha Bata Wala Asha La'a Ara Arasha Washa Kaba Aima Mahara Shama Harana Lawa La'asha. Is that the end of verse 15? The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 9. For all manner of trespass, whether it be for ox, for ass, for sheep, for raiment, or for any manner of lost thing, which another challengeth to be his, the cause of both parties shall come before the judges, and whom the judges shall condemn, he shall pay double unto his neighbor. Verse 10. If a man deliver unto his neighbor an ass, or an ox, or a sheep, or any beast to keep, it shall die, or be hurt, or driven away, no man seeing it. Verse 11. Then shall an oath of the Lord be between them both, that he hath not put his hand into his neighbor's goods, and the owner of it shall accept thereof, and he shall not make it good. Verse 12. And if it be stolen from him, he shall make restitution unto the owner thereof. Verse 13. If it be torn to pieces, then let him bring it for witness, and he shall not make good that which was torn. Verse 14. If a man borrow aught of his neighbor, and it be hurt or die, then the owner thereof, being not with it, he shall surely make it good. Verse 15. But if the owner thereof be with it, he shall not make it good, for it be an higher thing, it came to his hire.
Right? Again, one most important thing, you understand, in Israel, that we must know, especially when it read here in verse 9, it's saying for all manner of trespass. You understand, whether it be for ox, or for ass, or for sheep, or for raiment, or for any manner of lost thing which another challenged to be his. You understand? The cause of both parties shall come before the judges. So even in Israel, you understand, the most important thing that is being established is you coming before the judge. You're not trying to seek that justice for yourself. You understand? You come before the righteous rulers in Israel and get your matter sorted out, because you now taking up that step or that action for yourself. You understand? Might make things get even more worse than how it already is, or something that might be very minor. You understand, that they might be aware of. You can make that go south between you and your brother, and of course that evil will start creeping into the nation. That evil will even start to creep on you. You understand? So these things they bring it before the judges, let them sort out that. You understand, and keep the nation of Israel in the best state or the best condition that it's supposed to be. You have anything to say on that, Dr.
Yeah, kind of. So like I just piggyback on what you're saying is that again, let's re-emphasize, it's about righteousness in everything that is being done. Because, as much as somebody may think, okay, well, I feel this man, take myself, or I feel that look like mine. This is just to remove any of that so-called if and but, and remove any so-called animosity. And when you have, as scripture says, 2 or 3 witnesses, they will be able to judge each matter, each man according to what he says and what he doesn't say. And based on that now, that judgment will be given. And once that judgment is given, you can no longer go back, to bring back up that issue again, because it has already been dealt with by the judges, and the judgment has been settled, and that should be so that what?
6. This one was reading.
Okay.
The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 16. Amma, ma'ana, yama, ana, abba, yaha, lata, taha, lawa, kasa, yashakwala, kamaha, haba, tawa, lata. Verse 17. Maka, shapa, la'a, taka, yaha. Verse 18. Kala, shakaba, aima, baha, maha, mawata, yawa, mata. Verse 19. Zabaka, lahayam, yaka, rama, bala, taya, laya, hawa, laba, dawa. Verse 20. Wagara, la'a, tawa, naha, wala, la, kataza, nawa, kaya, garayam, haya, yatham, ga'a, rataza, mataza, rayam. Verse 21. Kala, alam, mana, waya, wayatayam, la'a, ta'ai, Nawayan. Nawan. Verse 22. Ama. Aina. Ta'aina. Atawa. Kaya. Ama. Taza. Iraq. Yataza. Iraq. Alaya. Washamai. Ashamai. Taza. Kwatawa. Right? At the end of verse 22. Chapter 22 and verse 16 in the English. If a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. Verse 17. If her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. Verse 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Verse 19. Whosoever lieth with a beast shall surely be put to death. Verse 20. He that sacrificeth unto any god, save unto the Most High only, he shall be utterly destroyed. Verse 21. Thou shalt neither vex a stranger, nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. Verse 22. Ye shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child.
So we're seeing here once more where they're showing you the essence of brotherhood. Showing verse 16 says, if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. As you know, in the scriptures, sex is marriage. I say we lay with her, that means you see this young woman, she's not betrothed, she's not engaged to anybody. You understand? But the proper way to do it is to what? Go and speak to her father. There's a tradition, you speak to her father, you pay the dowry, and then the father would agree to give away his daughter to you. But if that is not done, you still, as the scripture says, you still have to what? Go to the father and still what? Pay the dowry. Verse 17 says, if her father utterly refused to give her unto him, because why? You didn't show him that brother, to at least go to him first. But if he refused, you would what? Still have to pay, the dowry that was supposed to be paid, because that young lady, that woman, is that man's possession. And when you take her away from that man, you take away something that is useful to him. That's his daughter. He spent all his time, his money raising his daughter and bringing her to this position. And for you to just come and, take that away without any kind of compensation, that's showing a sense of not being brotherly, right? But so it still makes provision that if something like that does happen, that man will be what? Duly compensated. And if he refused to give her unto him, because for whatever reason, you still have to what? Pay that man, because you didn't want to have permission from that father. So that's it. If you have anything else. Okay.
The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 23. Yaka, Raha, Apaya, Waha, Ragataya, Ata, Kam, Baka, Rabah, Waya, Yawa, Nasha, Yakam, Allah, Manna, Wata, Waba Naya Kam Yatha Mayam, verse 24. Ama Yasak Tala Waha Ata Aimaya Ata Ha'ai Naya Ai Maka La'a Taha Yaha Lawa Kana Sha La'a Tasha Yamawan Aila Yawa Nashaka, verse 25. Ama Kabala Taka Bala Shala Mata Ra'aika Aid Ba'a Hashamash Kasha Yabba Nawa Lawa, verse 26. Kaya Hawa Yasa Wata Laba Daha Hawa Asha Mala Tawa Wa Ai Rawa Bama Yasha Kaba Yahawa no, Waya Kaya Yataza Airakwa Alaya Washa Ma'ai Taha Kaya Kana Kaya Nawa Anaya, verse 27. Allah Alahayam La'a Akwala Wana Shaya Ba'ai Maka La'a Ta'ara, verse 28. Mala Athaka Wada Ma'aika Allah Ta'akara Bak Wama Wara Bana Yana Bana Yaka Tana Laya, verse 29. Yana Kana Ta'aisha Lasha Raka Lataza Kanaka Shabba Aita Yama Yahawa Aima Amawa Baya Bayawam Hasha, Maya, Naya, Tanawa, Laya. That is the end of verse 29. The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 23. If thou afflict them in any wise and cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry. Verse 24. My wrath shall wax hot, and I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless. Verse 25. If thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as a usurer, neither shalt thou lay upon him usury. Verse 26. If thou at all take thy neighbor's raiment to pledge, thou shalt deliver it unto him by that the sun go down. Verse 27. For that is his covering only, it is his raiment for his skin, wherein shall he sleep. And it shall come to pass when he crieth unto me, that I will hear, for I am gracious. Verse 28. Thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of thy people. Verse 29. Thou shalt not delay to offer the first of thy ripe fruits, and of thy liquors, the firstborn of thy sons, thou shalt give unto me.
Wow. So you see here again more judgments, more understanding on how to rule, how to deal with your brother among your people. You see here once more where the Most High say, if you keep these laws, the Most High will be with you. If you don't keep it, there's always what judgments to be had to deal with the issues that come up amongst the brothers. So something as simple as in verse 25 would say, if thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, right, thou shalt not be to him as a usurer. So it will be like he has a money lender. You understand? He will charge interest like how some of these banks do. You're not supposed to charge interest. You understand? Neither shall thou lay upon him usury, right? So he ain't not charging interest. Wherever if he borrows something, that's what he paying back. Unlike the banks now, you can't don't pay because the interest rates are so high. Generations of people paying loans. Father had a loan, the children paying a loan, that same loan, then that passing to the grandchildren because why? Those interest fees just keep on banking up. And that's what they use to oppress blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Yeah. Right, so that we use to oppress blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So we've seen once more, where these things, are used to destroy black, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And even as it goes on lower, verse 27, even more brotherhood. Let's say, if thou at all take thy neighbor's raiment to pledge, thou shalt deliver it unto him, right? Basically by sundown. That was scripture saying that the sun goeth down. For that is his covering only, it is his raiment for his skin, wherein he shall sleep. And it shall come to pass when he cried unto me that I will hear, and for I am gracious. So you let you know, okay, you want to your brother, this might be the brother's only something, as this example they use, it was only raiment, his clothes. You see, I want to borrow that jacket, boy. I want to make a spin. No sweat, but that is the man only jacket. He was gracious enough to give you that. So you take it now unconcerned or not being brotherly to say bring it back for him in his time of need. You understand? Because you don't do that and you don't consider your brother, if that man cried and say, here cold. You understand? I can't sleep. Because this clothes was used to keep me warm in the night. And because they didn't consider that, and it wasn't brotherly, and that man cried out to the Most High. The Most High said he will be gracious to that man. So the Most High will give his judgment upon you for not being a brother. Everything in the scripture is about what? Being brotherly. You understand? And this is what these scriptures is about. And even on verse 28, they say upon this piece here, they say, "Thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of thy people." And a lot of people will read it and say, well, thou shalt not revile the gods. This is not talking about, the nation of Israel worshiping more than one God. So the Most High telling you, you should not revile. Revile means to what? Oppose. You should not be against what? The gods. And the Hebrew word for this is what? Alahaya. Right? Alahayam. Right? Which means what? Judges, rulers, angels. This talking about the ruler, those who are in authority among your people. You should not be what? Come up against them for any unnecessary cause. They say, "Thou shalt not revile the gods," which is the rulers among your people, nor curse the ruler of thy people. You understand? You should not come up against the rulers of your people for no apparent reason. Some people hold grudges or for whatever reason. You should not do that. It's an evil thing. You understand? There should be no backbiting, no mutiny. You understand? No conspiracy against the leadership of your people. So that's it.
Yeah, I said that.
Is it? Oh, that's right. And most in Christ.
Yeah.
And then you say, "I imagine." This brings us to the end of the service.
La Yashala to Israel.
Sir? I'm going to say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Amanaw, Shabashamayim, Wadash, Yah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakavka, Taba'a, Zaka, Yah, Isha, Barataza, Kawa, Yah, Washamayim, Nathan, Lakam, Ka, Yawam, Wasalakna, Kasalakna, Wala'a, Tabianaw, Abba, Mayan, right, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wataparat, I.W.L. Aman. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. You can see that the power. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Abokashah, now standing now, Haka, Arapah, Kalmakal, Haka, Haka, Matayam,
Matayam,
Aka, Irakuwa,
Atamayalam,
Lagarashan,
Bashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushai, Wadaman. What you just said in the English, Yahweh, the name of Yahushai. Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal.
The power to heal.
All manner of sickness.
All manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
All manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the leper.
The power to cleanse the leper.
The power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
against unclean spirits.
To cast them out.
Cast them out.
The name of
The name of Yahushai.
Yahushai. Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. We say the blessings in Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Why Yahushai. Why Maka'ala.
Maka'ala.
Alahaya.
Alahaya.
Zabia.
Zabia.
Alawapia.
Alawapia.
Asarania.
Asarania.
Akwatazania.
Yahweh. Bashem. Yahushai. Wadaman. What you just said in English, bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahushai. And Michael. And the angel. Commanding General Yohanna. The general. The captain. The officer. The troopers. And the sisters. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it.
See Psalm 121 in the Hebrew.
Asha'a,
Ayanya,
Ayanya,
Aharayam,
Aharayam,
Yaba'a,
Azariah,
Isaiah,
Yahweh,
Isha'a,
Shamayam,
Arataza,
Ayatan, Amawat, Ragalka,
Ayanawam,
Shamaka, Anna, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yashan, Shawama, Yashala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Zalka, Ayad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Ashamash, Yakaka, Ayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamaka, Kara, Yashama, Tanashka, Yahweh, Yashama, Tazahatka, Mayata, Iwalam. What you just said in English, Psalms 121. I will lift up mine eyes. Unto the hill. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from the Most High, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Most High is thy keeper. The Most High is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Most High shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Most High shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore.
We Psalm 83 in Hebrew. Alahayam,
Aldamayalaka,
Al-Takarash, Al-Tashakwa, Al-Kayahanna,
Al-Kalana,
Awayamaka, Yahawam,
Yawan,
Ash,
Ilamaka,
Ira Yawa,
Sawada,
Wayata, Aitazawa,
Aitazapawanka,
Marwa,
Makawa,
Wanakadam, Magawiya,
Wala'a, Yazaka, Shamyashala, Wada, Kaya, Waitazawa, Yakarwa, Ayaka, Karathwa, Alahaya, Adawam, Wayashima, Mawa'aba, Wahagarai, Ba, Aimawan, Aimalak, Palasha, Aimashabia, Tazawo, Gamashawo, Nalawa, Aiman, Ayawam, Sarawai, Yabanilawa,
Aishalaham,
Amadia,
Kasayasara,
Kayabia, Banakar, Yashwan, Nashamadwa, Bahayan, Ira, Ayawam, Dama, La Yashatamwa,
Nadaya
Mawa, Kaira, Wakazaba, Wakaltazamanai, Sayanasabakamwa, Asha, Amarwa, Ayarasha, Yanawa, Awa, Alahaya,
Yatamwa,
Ragal, Takwash, Wapanya, Lawaka, Kaash, Tabara, Ira, Wakalaba, Talaha, Tarayam, Kan,
Asuraika,
Asuraika,
Wabasa,
Wabasa,
Wapaska,
Wapaska,
Nabahala,
Nabahala, Wala'a,
Wanyaham,
Wanyaham,
Walawan,
Walawan,
Wayabakwashwa,
Wayabakwashwa,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yabashwa,
Yabashwa,
Wala Salakia, Wayabahalwa,
Wayabahalwa,
Wayadaiwa,
Wayadaiwa,
Salakia. Idea,
Wayakaparo, Wayakapawa,
Wayahabalo,
Wayabalo,
Wayadaiwa,
Wayadaiwa, Wayatha, Shamka, Yahweh, Batka, Aliyawan, Alkaha, Aratiza. What we just said in English, Psalms 83. Keep not thou silent.
Keep not thou silent.
O Most High.
O Most High.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O Most High.
O Most High.
For lo,
lo,
thine enemies
thine enemy
make it a mourn.
make it to mourn.
And they that hate
And
thee
they that hate thee
have lifted up the head.
have lifted up their
They
head.
have taken crafty
They
counsel
have taken crafty counsel
against thy people
against thy people
and consulted
and consulted
against thy hidden ones.
against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
They have said,
Come and let us cut them off
let us cut them off
from being a nation,
from being a nation,
that the name of
that the
Israel
name of Israel
may be no more
may be
remembered.
no more remembered.
For they have consulted
They have consulted
together
together
with one consent.
one consent.
They are confederate
They are confederate
against thee,
against thee.
the tabernacles of Edom
Tabernacles of Edom
and the Ishmaelites,
and the Ishmaelites
of Moab
Moab,
and the Hamarine,
Hamarine,
Babal
Babal,
and Ammon
Ammon,
and Amalek,
Amalek,
Philistines,
Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
inhabitants of Tyre.
Ashur
Ashur
is also joined with them.
joined with them.
They have helped
They have helped
the children of
children of
Lot.
Lot.
Salah,
Salah,
do unto them
do unto them
as unto the Midianites,
as unto the Midianites,
as to Sisera,
as to Sisera,
as to Jabin,
as to Jabin,
at the brook of
and the brook
Kison,
of Kison,
which perished at Endor.
Endor.
They became as dung
They became as
for
dung
the earth.
for the earth.
Make their nobles
Make their nobles
like Oreb
like Oreb
and like Zeid.
and like Zeid.
Yea,
Yea,
all their princes
all their princes
as
as
Zabah
Zabah
and as Alumna,
as Zalumna,
who said,
who said,
let us take to
let us
ourselves
take to
the
ourselves
houses of the Most High
the houses of the Most
in
High
possession.
in possession.
O my
O my
power,
power,
make them like a weed,
make them like a weed,
as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood,
fire and
and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them
So persecute
with
them
thy tempest,
with thy tempest,
and make them afraid
make them afraid
with thy storm.
with thy storm.
Fill their
Fill
faces
their faces
with shame,
with shame,
that they may see
that they may see
thy name,
thy name,
O Most High.
Most High.
Let them be confounded
Let them be confounded
and troubled
and troubled
forever.
forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to
let
shame
them be put to shame
and perish,
and perish,
that men may know
that men may know
that thou,
that thou,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
name alone is Yahweh,
are the Most High
Most High,
over all the earth.
over all the earth.
So, men of Israel, let's give a courtesy salute. I'm Martin Shabbat, I'm Majam, Barak,
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Rakatah.
Yadamata, class is